Activation confirmed. The terminal is completely sealed off.
We did it.
They've changed targets. The next terminal is just over there.
They're already on the move.
Can't even let us catch our breath, huh?
I haven't hit my operating limit yet, but I'm going to dismount.
Whoa, hey, then who's taking point?
Pull it together. We don't need orders to kick some ass.
Chihiro-san.
Look at that sunset. Just like it was back then. It's beautiful. I'm guessing you were monitoring me with a drone?
I have one locked on to you, yes. Their target's changed. They're coming back this way. It's dangerous here. We need to get you to safety.
Aw, don't tell me you're worried about me. How about you mind your own business? You already know how I feel. This is what I wanted.
Still.
More importantly, can you really afford to waste your time here? Or have you already given up? The invasion is still in its preliminary phase.
I've got time. First, I need to get you somewhere safe.
There are no safe places left. At least, none left for us. We're not safe anywhere. But you know that well enough. You're just losing precious time. Go focus on the job you're supposed to be doing.
Understood. I'll go. You'll find it safer towards the river. If, hypothetically, you wanted to know.
Wait. As long as we're both here, there's something I want to clear up. So, tell me. You were in love with Miss Morimura, weren't you? You said she was mind-hacked. But it was more about you being jealous, wasn't it?
That's hardly...
This may be our last chance to talk. Answer me.
You are correct. Is that what you wanted to hear? That I was driven by some cheap, naive impulse? That I can't think about anything else?
And that's why you brought back my memory too, isn't it? You never cared how you managed to do it. You just wanted her back.
So much.
I'm glad. You really were a slave to your desires. That's the Renya Gouto I remember. It means I don't have to like you after all. Thank you. I think that's all I wanted to hear.
Professor,
You should go. After all, we still have our bet. Although it looks like I'm about to win it. out here. Just come with me, okay? Will you just... What are you... Don't worry. If you can't find your mommy, I can help you look. We just have to run away right now, okay? Oh, there you are, Miwako. Asami-chan! I'm so glad you're okay. Jeez, you're so reckless. You shouldn't have come this way.
Kisaragi, that girl is...
I know already. I'll get back to the battle once Miwako's safe. Is someone else here? Of course not. Never mind. The evacuation route's that way. Can I bring her too? Hey! That's fine, just hurry up. I know this is my first time here, but this suddenly makes me feel so... nostalgic.
Sunsets will do that, I find, regardless of time period.
Yes, but... this must be... well, I suppose it must be one of those places. So? Where am I going?
I've rented an apartment under a false name.
Can't be any worse than our last accommodations. As long as it's not Rebel, I'll take it.
My apologies. If it's any comfort, I'm certain nobody will find you there. Not Shikishima, and certainly not Miss Morimura. I suppose we have Ida-san to thank for all this. The funds and paperwork he prepared were invaluable.
Tetsuya Ida. And he's still missing, is he?
Yes. Let's go. Chihiro-san.
You think I'm the professor?
That is what I said. You are Professor Chihiro Morimura, a major figure in Shikishima in the year 2188. Namely, the leader of its space initiative.
What are you even talking about?
Just some hypotheticals. A possible interpretation of the evidence I found.
Okay, say I am the professor. Remember, Miss Morimura is the one who created me. You think that was her plan? She wanted a host for the professor and not herself? How would that make sense?
Miss Morimura ran an experiment to grant her clone compatibility. She believed that you were synchronized to her. She believed it was her own data she transmitted. But it was the other Chihiro Morimura in Sector 0. And of course, you entered the world as a newborn, incapable of verbal communication. So Miss Morimura never realized her mistake.
This is all speculation.
Certainly, yes. But if I'm right, and you are the professor, I imagine you were in quite a panic yourself. All things considered, it was a staggering deviation from the original plan.
What original plan?
Among the logs from 2188, one of Tetsuya Ida's noted that he'd found an anomaly. Chihiro Morimura was set to undergo a memory transplant in the final phase. And the final phase, well, that would be us.
I don't know where you think you're going with this.
A bit of patience, please. There's a little more context I need to provide. The log from the future I saw first. That would be the comms log I found with my own ID. The first log I checked held some surprises. The author seemed to be an elderly Renya Gouto. And the date of recording appeared to be 2188. I assumed it was some future version of myself. One that had time traveled into the far future. But now, I don't think that's the case. I believe it's the other way around. In other words, I myself am a clone of him. Every individual I saw in that log footage, they all created clones of themselves.
Clones? Huh?
I did find a log that proves this point.
What did you see?
A comms log between you and Professor Takamiya. Her field is genetic engineering, I note.
Professor Takamiya, how are the projections on those self-replicating probes? The simulations look good. Especially the survey range. We never expected a rate of expansion that high. It was definitely the right call to prioritize its strength as a group over individual units. These probes are pretty much living machines now. They self-replicate using natural resources mined from asteroids in their routing. They'll just keep building up and breaking down. An infinite cycle of self-replication on its way to its target. There's basically zero chance of the tech failing midway through. They'll just keep on going. Probably long after humanity's gone. Glad I came to an expert then. All that's left is the refinement of the memory cube. The infrastructural storage cell, right? The cube's made up of 5 identical memory layers. In theory, it'll compare itself to nearby probes and use them as a template for repairs. And if it can't be repaired, well... fine, 1 probe down. We've got thousands more. And our passengers? I'll be loading them up with the DNA of all the survivors. I've already got samples and data from all 15. Now it's just down to launching them. These clones will go with all our hopes on their shoulders. By the way, what do we do about him? I mean, after that DNA test. We do nothing. He doesn't have to know. What can I even say to him? Not much, I guess.
There were 15 survivors of that colony, each with a clone established to be compatible. Though they grew up in different eras, different worlds. And you aimed to replace your clone's memories with your own. That was your real plan. Right now, I imagine your biggest question is precisely how much of that log I've seen. Am I close? You do have a genius mind, but also the form of a child. I imagine it's harder than usual to hide your agitation.
It's absolutely not... Now you're just trying to trick me?
I'd say, based on that log, Professors Takamiya and Morimura seem to know each other quite well. Maybe you know something about that.
Of course not.
Then perhaps instead, Tsukasa Okino? Being compatible, that makes one part of his identity clear. He's one of the 15 from the year 2188. So, any theories? Who was he in the year 2188? Care to guess?
Stop it.
No? Then allow me to clarify. That boy, Tsukasa Okino, is Professor Chihiro Morimura's son. But not her child by personal, conventional birth. The professor donated her egg cells as a young woman, in accordance with the policies on population control. Their blood relation wasn't exactly obvious, until DNA testing on the clone revealed it. The professor was faced with the truth. He was her son, which naturally sparked an inconvenient surge of maternal instinct. However, Okino himself didn't think highly of the professor. He had his disagreements with the project staff, too. When it seemed like her end was near, the professor recorded him one final message. One last chance for him to know the truth.
Stop! You saw that? But how? You'd need a biometric ID match to access that log. So you should only have been able to access your own. My logs and Okino's should have been locked off.
Thank you, Professor Morimura. Indeed, the files I could access were somewhat limited. Mostly company logs. Meeting reports, call transcripts, bureaucratic chaff. Barely anything in the way of your personal records.
Then, how do you know what was in my logs?
It's simple, really. That should do it for preparations. Now, let's see if the biometric authentication works. Did it go through? Looks like that got me past the initial barrier, at least. Now, with Miss Morimura's ID, I should be able to get into her logs. Maybe, if I check Miss Morimura's logs, I might find a clue why your biometric ID matches hers. It really is her ID.
Yori Fuyusaka?
Though unconscious, she proved very helpful. She is Chihiro Morimura, a compatible version. If you really are Miss Morimura, then you should already know who Iori Fuyusaka is. Because that would mean you hid her here in Sector 4. The plan was for the two newborns to grow up with their own separate lives. Ida-san's idea, presumably. Chihiro Morimura was planned to be placed in 2104, and Tetsuya Ida in 2024, yet neither could be found.
I knew Renya Gouto of Shikishima pretty well. You and he are very different. Except that you both make my life a lot harder. So, suppose I am the professor. Then what?
I want to know the truth. I want to know the reasons behind all of this. But that seems unlikely. I imagine you're not inclined to tell me anything.
And why's that?
It'd be inconvenient for you if we had all the facts. Considering you're trying to eliminate us. From the very beginning, you never intended for this world to survive.
To do this. I'm gonna try something. Huh? Honestly. Goto-kun! I know you can see me! You've got a drone up, right? I need you here right now! Goto? You don't mean... Goto-kun! Renya Gouto? Yup. So you know him too? There you are. Goto-senpai! Where did you come from?
Chihiro-san, why did you call for me?
My senior ID can get me access to the higher level commands. But I still need the biometric authentication to get it started. So I'll need your help. Though... it's not a favor for me. I'm the one who's going to be helping all of you, in the end. Don't move.
Are you trying to shift from here?
I need you to step away. We're inside the underground UFO. The Sector 4 mainframe.
What are you trying to achieve?
Maximum hypocrisy. Once I'm done here, your fight might get just a little easier. Get on the shifter already. I've established a connection to the system. My senior credentials should take care of the rest. Thank you. I didn't think you'd come back for me. I'm shifting you back. Now, let's get started, shall we? All units fighting the kaiju. Can you hear me?
Who's that? How'd you get on this channel?
Huh? Wait, you're the girl Miwako was helping.
Chihiro. Is that you, Chihiro?
I'm Chihiro Morimura. What?
That's our teacher's name.
I'm going to evacuate the populace all at once. Readouts say 1.2 million people in Sector 4. They'll all be force shifted to the year 2025. As in Sector 3.
To the year 2025?
You're shifting over 1 million people?
So you don't have to worry about any civilian casualties. That's all.
Wait a minute, Chihiro!
Initializing shift. Isn't this... That should be everyone. Unbelievable. Absolutely ridiculous. Why am I doing this?
Oh, you went through.
What's the meaning of this? How did you gain access? Explain yourself.
I'm Takatoshi Hijiyama. I just have one favor to ask of you.
A favor?
Well, it's kind of complicated, but I'm actually asking on behalf of someone else. A young man by the name of Okino.
Tsukasa Okino?
This data is that you, Gouto? It's been a while. The last time I saw you was 2 months before my death. Roughly a year ago, I think. Chairman Ogata. An AI construct based on Chairman Kengo Ogata. Why would this be in Morimura's files? I see. So this is how she managed to raise all those funds. She must have used this AI to access the Shikishima Chairman's hidden network. Not quite. I'm afraid that was originally my idea. The good Professor Morimura was only following my orders. So all of this was by design? Your design? Leaking the prototype nanomachinery to the black market? The catastrophic consequences. You're the one who exploited her. If you blame anyone, blame yourself. We were so close to losing Project Ark entirely. Now we must prioritize the project above all else. I'll finally have my second chance at life. You were planning on downloading yourself into a clone. A brave new Earth is waiting for me. I won't let you do this. What is Professor Morimura doing now? She's dead. By that hitman's hands, I presume. That's humanity. Self-destructive to the very end. Only a few survivors left now. I give them 3 days at most. My deepest condolences for your imminent death. Shut up, Construct. Your project is over. Unfortunately for you, the Ark is already set off. It's still within comms range. You don't have clearance. I refuse to let an AI control the future of humanity. Out of the survivors, the ones who would have clearance.
So, suppose I am the professor. Then what?
I want to know the truth. I want to know the reasons behind all of this. But that seems unlikely. I imagine you're not inclined to tell me anything.
And why's that?
It'd be inconvenient for you if we had all the facts. Considering you're trying to eliminate us. From the very beginning, you never intended for this world to survive. 3 months prior to the Newman Inc. incident, Newman was acquired by the conglomerate Shikishima. With these interlocutors, apparently some kind of nanomachine information technology, they've become one of the world's top megacorps. If Operation Aegis succeeds, a world reset will no longer be possible. This operation goes against Professor Morimura's agenda. She will stop at nothing to prevent it.
You think I'm trying to destroy the world?
I do.
So you think I'm enabling the kaiju now? Even though I've got more reason to hate them than any of you?
That is true, at least. You're clearly not on the kaiju's side. After all, they are a threat to your primary objective, which would be to carry out the plan you formed in 2188. However, that plan may now be untenable. The situation has deviated too drastically. Recall when I brought you to the underground UFO? I believe you said something like, it was out of your hands.
This is the mainframe of the UFO?
Yes.
Honestly, Okino-kun, you can't take anything else in life seriously. So why do you put so much time into all this?
Okino.
Just talking to myself. More importantly, look at this mess. Something unpleasant must have happened here.
Most likely. A Shikishima android. Probably left here by Ida-san. They've all been shot. External damage suggests the weapon was a phaser. They're all out of commission. Too damaged to function.
I see. Let's get started then.
Is it really possible?
I have a fairly comprehensive grasp of this system. This abnormality all comes down to the decode, right? I should be able to get rid of it.
Why would Miss Morimura push for Operation Aegis if this was an option all along?
Well, you said it yourself. She's either being controlled by someone, or she could be trying to save herself.
That's not right. Hold on. That file system hadn't even been analyzed yet. How did you gain access?
I have a senior admin ID. Access privileges for the entire system.
You somehow got access to an account that high level?
Yes, I have my ways. This is no good. Sector 3's mainframe has been damaged in an attack. It's barely operational. I won't be able to process much here. Well, not much choice. I'll have to send direct instructions to the command ship.
Command ship?
The mothership in orbit. It can send commands directly to the UFO.
Is it an Ark? Some grand design from the people of the future?
Either that or a base of operations for an alien invasion. The comms channel to the command ship is cut off. Must be hiding somewhere beyond the horizon. Looks like about 35 minutes until the comms reconnect. But we don't have that long. Time to find another link.
Will this fix cut off the Kaiju's attacks?
It should be able to solve the problem at its core. However, we can't stop any commands that were already processed. That's out of my hands.
Which means we'll still have to deal with the Kaiju already generated. We don't know how many the factories have produced. If we could just verify their numbers. We're going to need the Sentinels after all.
That may be best. Operation Aegis is too much of a risk.
In other words, the decode's activation is a blow you cannot recover from. No matter how you try to fix it, your plan is irreversibly impacted. The most direct fix would be eliminating the decode. Then, you would just restart the loop anew. In order to trigger a loop, you need them to destroy all the sector's mainframes. And therein lies your goal. You want this world destroyed so the timeline can be reset. But you have one major obstacle, and that's Operation Aegis. Aegis isn't just an ordinary defense system. It causes a terminal to seal itself off in self-defense, preventing anyone from using it to control the world. Once all the terminals are sealed off, we'll be severed from the mainframe, effectively preventing any further loop or extinction. But if that happens, your plan is null and void. We'd be stuck in a loop where your goal was impossible. Let's backtrack a little bit. We discussed the suspect of Miss Morimura's murder, and you asked me who I think did it. If you actually are Professor Chihiro Morimura, then I believe you personally murdered Miss Morimura.
Did I now?
She was a staunch advocate of Operation Aegis. A thorn in your side, someone in the way of your reset.
An interesting theory, if also an incorrect one.
Believe me, I understand why you'd view me with hostility. Certainly Renya Gouto was responsible for chasing you out of Newman, even if it was on Shikishima's behalf, a buyer simply eliminating liabilities. After that, you took the lead on Project Arc, under Kengo Ogata's oversight. Kengo Ogata, of course, being Nenji Ogata's father, and Shikishima's chairman, who recognized your talent. He passed away in 2187. His age caught up with him. But the other Kengo Ogata is perhaps more relevant. The one you created after his death using his memories. An AI construct. You were letting it control you.
I was just getting advice. Dug that out of a log, too?
Yes. Renya Gouto found that AI. The log was recorded in the colony after your death. Once your clone reaches 18 years of age, you set it so that she'd download your memories. It's clear this project was not a selfish endeavor. I'm sure you felt a sense of duty to save humanity. But you were also trying to bring Kengo Ogata back to life. So Professor Morimura takes over Chihiro Morimura's clone. And presumably, Kengo Ogata would take over Nenji Ogata's clone. That's why you're so intent on sticking to the plan. Certainly, from your perspective, Miss Morimura was expendable. She had to die. Her very survival endangered your ultimate goal.
Well, that is a shame. This isn't ideal, but you know too much. Goodbye.
This should be a good spot, right? The river's nice and wide. Plus, no one else is around. It shouldn't be a problem if the Sentinel pops up here.
Are you going to summon it right now? Perhaps we should wait until nightfall.
Well, we're going to send it right back, aren't we?
If it's only for a second, then we should be fine.
I want to change the registered pilot of Sentinel number 17. To you, Natsuno.
Wait, right here? Why?
I was previously using Miura's ID. However, the ownership of the ID returned to him.
It's because I operated Sentinel number 19.
I can no longer pilot a Sentinel. In order to shift to the Sentinel, it must receive a new pilot. But this change comes with a price. It will reset the Sentinel's stored memory.
Wait, that's not good.
Then, what do we do?
We'll transfer all data logs to me. If it's done at the same time we change the registered pilot, I should be able to secure the log data.
Good thinking, BJ.
Natsuno. From now on, Sentinel number 17 will be...
Right, no problem. I'll be the one who pilots the robot. And I'll fight together with my pal, BJ.
As long as Na-chan isn't in any danger.
Sentinel number 17 will protect Natsuno.
If anything, I should be the one fighting.
There is another Sentinel for you.
What did you say?
You must work together and survive.
You know it.
Both processes must be performed concurrently. Natsuno, it's time to activate.
Okay. Dang, that was fast.
Now send it back, Na-chan.
How do I do that? Huh?
It disappeared.
Does that mean it worked, BJ? BJ? You okay, buddy? Say something.
He's no longer with us.
What?
BJ was the only one who could retrieve the log data. But the storage capacity on a scout unit like that is limited. He couldn't store both the log data and his own AI data. So in order to make room for the logs, he deleted himself.
No. No, you're wrong. He's just fooling around. Come on. Wake up, BJ. BJ.
Everything looks like it's made of gold. I remember the day the Kurabe family took me in. I held Chihiro's hand, and there was a sunset just like this. Chihiro. I don't care who Chihiro says she is. She's still family. Takatoshi-san. You actually showed up?
That Sentinel belongs to us, doesn't it? Why wouldn't I show up? So that's where it is, huh?
Yeah. The Sentinels inside that building.
Strange, isn't it? Pretty soon, all this will turn into a battleground. We'll be fighting in a place that's supposedly in the future. This is what we've been training for. Odd circumstances aside, it's an honor to fight using such incredible weapons.
Takatoshi-san, if anything happens to me, could you look after Chihiro?
Don't be stupid! Whenever you're in trouble, I'll always be there. And if it ever looks grim, I'll be the first to take a bullet for you. And don't get discouraged. No one's going to die.
All right. Let's go. We're taking back our Sentinel.
That's what I want to hear. There it is. Just how I remember it. Freeze! Another one? He's still alive. I'm using low power shots, but still. Feels like we've given these guys quite the punishment.
I want to thank you, Takatoshi-san. I couldn't have recovered the Sentinel without your help.
It's still a little too early to be thanking me.
Right. Natsuno-san's already out there fighting. I'd better join her.
Save some action for me, all right? I'll catch up to you soon.
BJ. A different me from a different time. According to him, I should be able to activate the Sentinel now. It worked. All right, no time to waste. Natsuno-san, can you hear me?
Miura-kun, thank God. I thought it was all over.
Just stay put. I'll be right there.
Okay.
I have to protect my family. And everyone I hold dear. Even if it costs me my life.
Where do I begin? Well, I think I finally found what we needed. The answer to our problem.
What is it?
I'd prefer to handle the introductions first, but...
What can I do right now? I have to save everyone. That means I need to stay at Okino's side.
Well, I guess we're a bit early. The command ship's still behind the horizon. That means still about half an hour until they're in comms range. Now it's a waiting game.
Go ahead and explain.
Guess I owe you that much. You remember our talk about the decode?
Something inside that inner Velocitor? It's the thing calling the Deimos, right?
You got it. More specifically, the important part is its connections to 3 discrete points. One of those points is the command ship in orbit, which I'll show you here. From that ship, it extracts the data of the Deimos themselves. That data is used to manufacture them in the automated factories in Sector 1. Then the factory-fresh Daimos are deployed to attack Universal Control. And that's how the decode works.
So why do the attacks make people disappear?
I might actually have the answer to that one. But, well, it'd be better if you heard it from her, the command ship.
Hey, this doll is moving.
Stop!
It stopped. Is this doll some kind of enemy?
Must have come from above ground. I'm definitely triggering the voice recognition, but... looks like my operation authority has been revoked. My commands aren't enough to shut them down. They'll be back in action soon.
Hey, over here too!
Stop!
This doesn't look good.
You're telling me. We need to go. Something's off.
What's wrong?
That console. Looks like I can only use the controls from there. You stay here. I'll go set the timer.
Hey!
Stop!
Okino! Damn it! Why me? Why only me? I have to get back now, or Okino might not. Someone. Anyone. I need to find someone who knows how to time travel. I know what I saw. Just as I was shifting, I saw Okino. And the androids were after him. I need to get back and rescue him. Sekigahara would know. Keitaro's Sentinel could also travel in time. Wait, that nurse would know as well. Okino was looking into that teacher. Maybe she knows something about time travel. If what Keitaro said is true, the Sentinel's capable of time travel. So if I can take it back from the government and Shikishima, maybe I can use it to save Okino. Crawling to him for help leaves a bad taste in my mouth, but... desperate times call for desperate measures. This is hardly the time for a snack. I can't seem to find that teacher. Excuse me, miss. There's something I need to ask you.
Sure. What's up?
You've been in the area for a while, right? Seen any suspicious characters? Sharp eyes, acting fishy?
Yeah, right in front of... never mind.
Hmm? I'm looking for a boy named Miura. He'd be wearing a school hat. Has he been around here?
A school hat? Oh, you mean that middle schooler kid?
You've seen him?
Sorry. I don't really know anything. But you might want to talk to one of our track members.
Where would I find them?
Around now, she'd probably be at the rest area.
Understood. Thank you. I'm looking for a teacher named Morimura. Do you have any idea where she might be?
You need to find Miss Morimura? I think she already went home for the day.
Really? Of all time, she had to be gone during an emergency. I'll have to look somewhere else. Do you have a moment?
For what?
I'm looking for Miura. A boy with an old school hat. Any idea where I might find him?
A school hat? You mean Natsuno's boyfriend?
Natsuno?
One of my friends in track has a boyfriend. And he always wears this super vintage-looking school hat.
That's him. Do you know where he is?
He wasn't near the athletics building. I do remember something. Oh, I've seen him around the old school building.
The old school building? So, the wooden schoolhouse? Thank you. Much appreciated. I'm looking for a shady guy who looks like he might start a fight. Have you seen anyone like that around school?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm talking to him.
Anyone else?
Well, there's also Ogata-kun.
Okino. What's wrong?
This is for you.
What's this?
I really like you.
What are you doing? Don't be crazy.
Gotcha. Deja vu, huh? Isn't this where I confessed to Nenji Ogata, too? That seemed like it really got to you. I thought you might be feeling left out, so...
You idiot. You thought it'd make me happy for a man to confess to me?
Guess not, huh?
Nobody here.
Huh? You? Wait, maybe...
This was the correct area to search. It is him.
Wait, that's... You're the scout unit that was with Sekigahara. Why do you have this? Who are you?
Takatoshi-san. Let me take you. Let me take you to Okino's location. He has been wounded by androids. His condition is critical.
What? Who exactly are you? How do you know about Okino?
Television broadcasts and command ship transmissions. Miyuki Inaba used them to inform me. Natsuno, he will need it.
Oh, sure. Here.
What is this?
A phaser. You will need a weapon to neutralize the androids.
Some kind of future gun?
I extracted it from the Shikishima laboratory. It was designed based on data from the mainframe. Natsuno, please stay here.
What?
It will be dangerous. Takamiya may not have much time.
Then let's move. Okino!
3 active androids detected.
I'm on it.
Over here.
Is it over? Okino! Where are you hurt? Don't worry. I'll get you to a hospital.
Hijiyama-kun,
Don't talk. I'm here.
the letter. Read my letter.
No! Okino! No. Okino's... He's gone.
Universal Control has isolated him.
So they finally made it here. Okino. You don't have much of a knack for love letters.
The invasion force is approaching Sector 4. So I'd like to share the Sentinel with you. I hid it in the ocean in Sector 5. It's the one I piloted. Sentinel number 12. If anything happens to me, you'll need access to it. So I made one last adjustment to your body on my own. The Sentinel activation switch is on your left forearm.
That scout unit said you were isolated. If you really are alive, if you're out there somewhere, then you're going to need a home to return to. It'd be a shame if it was gone. So, I'll fight to my last breath to save it. That's all the reason I need. Now let's go! Sentinel number 12!
Finally. I was wondering when you'd show up.
What was that? I thought I heard Okino's voice.
You did. It's me.
Okino!
You can't see them, but I do still have legs. No ghosts here.
So the scout was right.
I'm still alive. Because we shared the Sentinel, you're the only one who I can communicate with.
What can I do? How do I save you?
I can't go back to that world anymore. I was cut off from it, to keep me alive. This was the answer, Hijiyama-kun. Remember what we talked about? The mystery process eating up 80% of the inner Lossiter's memory? Our hearing, vision, scent, touch, and taste. It was supplying sensory data, everything we ever perceived. It made everything in that world seem real. That was practically its highest priority function.
Seem real? You don't mean it was all fake? My home? The factory?
The 5 sectors are not reality. Besides the 15 of us, every human we've ever known, they were created by universal control. That world is a simulated space. A massive, perfect illusion for us.
None of it was real.
These cockpits we're in right now, that is reality. My designs for the Sentinels never had cockpits at all. What kind of suicidal moron would get in a 35-meter weaponized metal suit? A single punch's recoil impact would hit the pilot like a train crash. But then the finished Sentinels had ways to get inside. I wasn't too familiar with the systems we'd pulled from the mainframe data. I figured it was just a speck I hadn't noticed at the time. But it wasn't even a cockpit at all. They're growth pods, meant to keep our bodies healthy. We were born inside these pods. We have never known life outside of them.
If all that's true, how do we get out?
I don't know if we can get out. But at least one thing's clear. If the Deimos invasion destroys the world we knew, then we will all die inside these pods.
Fat chance of that. You're shameless, shrewd, and infuriating. People like you don't die so easily. No matter what else may change, my duty is the same. I live in service of my country, and the people I love.
Hijiyama-kun.
I will not let you die.
Hijiyama-kun. No matter how this ends, I will always be with you. Let's go.